You gotta get into the groove.
Hey, welcome everybody once again to another Groove Asia Leaders Unite, and for short, GLU. My name is Peter Moinero, and I'm coming at you live from New Zealand. If you're joining me live, just put a hashtag live into the comment box, and if you're watching this some other point after it's been done, played live, just put a hashtag replay, and yeah, feel free to make any comments while we're doing these lives, and I will, if you've got any questions, and I'll do my best to answer them, whether they're groove related or it could be anything to do with online type sort of scenarios. I'll try my best to answer them. I have kind of a ton of experience online, and mainly within the e-commerce, but e-commerce, online stores and things like that, but also with website building and affiliate marketing and all that sort of stuff. So just, put your comments into the comment box, and I will do my best to answer them. Hello to Nancy. Hey, Peter. Hey, Nancy. Good to have you here. And I know you're coming in from Canada. Tyra, once again, thank you for your support. And thank you for the very warm welcome, Tyra. Good to have you here. Nancy says she's coming in, hashtag live. And then also as well, we have obviously Tyra coming in, and she is hashtag live. Okay, cool. So the topic for today is the favorites versus global blocks. Now I'll explain that a little bit more as we go through it. But if you are familiar with the Groove platform and Groove pages in particular, then you will know what I'm talking about when I'm talking about favorites and as well as global blocks. Now the whole versus thing is not really sort of like, do you use one over the other? It's more about explaining either or in length, and where you can use them, when it's actually best to use them, and or one or the other in terms of different scenarios. Okay, so just actually want to do a bit of a mic check. I want to know if everybody can hear me. So if you can just put a 1 in the comment box to let me know if you can hear me, that'll be great. And obviously if you can't, you won't be able to put anything in there because unless you read my lips. But anyway, if you can hear me, put a 1. I'll just wait for a few seconds to see what comes through. Great, thanks Nancy, thanks Tyra, thank you very, very much for that. Hopefully it's all clear and there's not much noise in the background. So there is a bit of noise going on in the background. I do actually have a noise suppressor on at the moment, so I'm not too sure whether or not it's working properly or not. Anyway, look, before we get on to the topic of the session, I just want to know if you are actually doing anything with Groove. What sort of things are you doing with Groove? Are you doing affiliate marketing? Are you building websites? Maybe for yourself, maybe even for if you've got customers or clients that you're building websites for. I'll give you a bit of a rundown on the scenario that I use Groove for, and I have been using it since pretty much the day I started with Groove, which was around 2019, I think December 2019, not long after it first came out. A lot of apps were still in the pipeline back then, so there was it was pretty exciting to know what was coming. We have got a lot more than what we used to have back then. The reason why I started with Groove is I was looking for a more cost-effective solution to Shopify. As I mentioned before, my background really is in e-commerce. Started that out in 2007. And it can get quite expensive in terms of running a Shopify store back in those days. And I came across Groove as a more cost-effective solution, and then I started using Groove. Hey, Dr. Lisa, greetings from Baltimore, Maryland, USA. Good to have you here, Dr. Lisa. So that's just a kind of like a brief background on my e-commerce, I guess my startup point when I started with it. Of course, I was actually looking to as well for other opportunities online. I came across, and as you would have back in the day, it's kind of sort of like the whole butterfly marketing thing, you know, how to do affiliate marketing and things like that. I just couldn't quite fathom it back in those days, what affiliate marketing was and how you implemented it. Just was so confusing. Just went straight over the top of my head. I found e-commerce probably a lot more easier to actually to do. Tyler says, I am learning about all of them, all of the Groove apps. Groove will be my foundation and infrastructure. Thank you for that, Tyler. We'll just put that up there, shall we? There you go. Yeah, so I mean, learning about them is awesome, you know, and then, you know, look, at the end of the day, I mean, you use it for whatever purpose you want to use it for. As I said, I run my business off the Groove platform. I do e-commerce sites. I also build websites for clients, do some affiliate marketing through it, email campaigns for my clients as well. Also do like memberships on behalf of my clients for their courses. And I've done the odd blog here and there. So I have used it a fair bit, most of the apps anyway. Having said that, tell me which one is your favorite. If you're a Groovester and you've been a Groovester for some time now, tell me which is your favorite app. Which is the one that you actually like the most? Is it Groove Pages, is it Groove Sell, Groove Mail, Groove Member, Groove Video, Groove Blog, or Groove Cart? Let me know. I'd be interested. I think for me, I have two favorites, which is Groove Pages and Groove Cart. But, you know, that's not to say that I don't know how to use some of the other ones like the Groove Video and things like that. Okay, but let me know in the comment box. And again, one more time, if you have questions about the Groove platform or Groove apps or anything else that might be related to online business, whether it be e-commerce, even if you want to sort of ask questions about other types of apps, like there's a lot of AI apps out there like ChatGPT, Perplexity, Google Gemini, Claude 3.5. I use ChatGPT a lot. I have been using Gemini quite a bit lately because of the new features that have been coming out, or the updates in that, VO3, Flow. So quite a few different things. There's some that have actually, quite a lot that have come out in this quarter. There'll be probably a lot more coming out in the last quarter of the year. So keep your eyes and ears open. Tyra likes Groove Pages and Groove Cart. Awesome, Tyra. And then we always, Dr. Lisa loves the Groove Pages, member files, and video library. And I know, Dr. Lisa, you're very active with the whole sort of like using Groove Pages, as well as, you know, there's other platforms that you use as well. You've really gone really, you know, you've really stepped up your game in terms of what you're wanting to do. I think you've found what you know, what you're comfortable with, and you've gone really, you've really pushed it along, which is really good to see. And that's kind of what this whole community is about, right? Is to actually pop each other, support each other, and help each other where you can. And I know that Dr. Lisa, and I have mentioned it sort of just loosely to Dr. Lisa and about inviting her here on one of these GRUs to actually go through some of the stuff she's been doing with her, you know, with her business online ventures and things like that. Just a sec, I've got a bit of back noise going on in the background, so I'm just going to sort that out. All right, sorry about that, guys. I just had to take a minute to sort out the background noise that was going on. If you didn't hear it, that's great, but I wasn't going to take the risk. Right. Dr. Lisa says that she needs to refresh on store and sell. Right. Okay, so you can see the terminology that Dr. Lisa is using because she hasn't mentioned Groove, like Groove Pages, was it Groove Sell or Groove Cart? Because there is a move to actually look at just simplifying it and kind of just leaving the Groove out of it. But I mean, ultimately, it's still a Groove platform, but just the naming side of it, probably because more of a marketing strategy than anything else in the branding. Here we go. Tyra says, that would be great. That would be nice for you to feature Dr. Lisa. You can also catch her during Power Hour Plus. Yes, let's just give that a bit of a mention to as well. Tyra's Power Hour Pluses, which are generally on a Wednesday evening. No, sorry, Tuesday evening. I think I've got this right. Tuesday evening and a Thursday evening in ET time. Try if you can just put I don't know, you might even be able to put a link in there, but if you can just put the time in there, that'd be great. So if you haven't been to one of Tyra's Power Hour Pluses, they're really cool. It's basically the community will attend some of these Power Pluses just so that they can actually work on their projects and be in their co-working environment amongst other like-minded people. And of course, it gives you that opportunity to really knuckle down and focus on what you're actually working on. Obviously, things will be in kind of a quiet sort of intervals, if you like, in terms of it will be timed. Yeah, 8 p.m. Eastern time. That's correct. Yep, Tuesdays and Thursdays. So yeah, it's that kind of. It's kind of a focus group, if you like, and plus, we have little breaks and we talk about different things that we might be working on. The other thing is that I do actually attend those on the Thursday evening most times, not all the time. I think I did miss last week. I'm not too sure, but I do attend those. So if you do want to ask me questions or anything like that in terms of anything to do with Groove or e-commerce or anything, just come to those sessions and you'll be able to catch me. Well, you'll catch me on the Thursday night one, more likely than the other one. Okay, let's get started. I've done enough rambling on. So for those who are actually new to Groove, I know that everybody in the chat here are actually not new to Groove. They have been using Groove. But for those who are actually maybe watching the replay of this, if you're new, then we're going to kind of just go through today's topic, starting from the pretty much the when you log into your account into the dashboard. So let me share my screen. Oh, so hopefully everybody can see that. Once you log into your account, you actually we have Nancy just mentioned she likes Group Pages for the visibility. Yes, I actually agree with you on that, Nancy, the visibility, but I'll give you some other reasons too as well that I have mentioned in the past, but they're actually they're really cool reasons why Groove is very, very versatile. But before I do that, let's just move on to where I was at the stage here. When you log into Groove, you get to the account dashboard here. As you can see, there's a bit of a menu up the top here, and you can select whatever app from here if you want to, or you can come over to the Groove icon here, and then you can just click on to the apps here. Now, I actually like to use this one in particular because I can right-click on any of these apps and then actually open it up in a different tab, rather than actually open it up in the same tab, because I like to have like separate tabs for different things that I'm working on in Groove. What I was going to say here, just in this area here, we do actually have like a walkthrough of what the Groove platform is. I think it's a few minutes, this video here, so if you want to have a look at that and get a general idea what the Groove platform is about, then you can click on there. So let's just go to one of the apps, which is going to be Groove Pages. So like I said before, I like using this one here. You won't see this, but I'm going to click right on the I'm going to do a right click on Group Pages, and I'm going to open that up into a separate tab. I better share the tab too, by the way. There is the tab. Now, I'm just going to open one of my websites, one of my own websites, not my client's one, but my own. And as you can see, when you go into the admin dashboard of your website, you will see the back end of the, if you like, the website builder. Okay. So this is a website, my own website, which probably needs updating. You could probably see that, you know, for some of you, this would look familiar, this design, because it is a template within Groove. I am looking at updating it at some point. It's funny, you know, when you when you create websites, I mean, you do more on other people's websites than you do on your own. So that's kind of like it's kind of sort of something that's something that I'm experiencing at the moment. I'm actually doing more on other people's websites than on my own, and I've been meaning to get around to doing stuff on my own website. But that's okay. That's not hugely important. So yeah, not at this point anyway, because I still get customers. Not necessarily from my website, but from just referral work and things like that. That's pretty cool. It's pretty cool when you can actually get referral work and not solely rely on website traffic, right? So, I mean, it's always a good thing. Okay, so we're on my website, and one of the things we're going to be going over is favorites. Now, favorites is kind of like a saved element, if you like. Okay, so there's two things. There's a block and then there's an element. Elements are pretty much things like this. This is an element here where it actually is a container for, or an element for, an image. So you can put an image in there. And the way you put an image in there is that you just click onto the gear cog there, and then you can actually choose an image from your gallery and add it into there and just update it and close it, and you'll end up with your image. Other elements like this one here, which is actually a H1. If you have a look up here, H1 tag, which is a header 1 tag. That is H1 is actually my my main keyword, if you like. So you can only have one of those on each page of your website, and all the others would be like any other headings, like this one here. It should be an H2, not an H1, but you can actually change it by simply double clicking on here and selecting everything, and then coming up to the top here on this menu bar, clicking on here, and then selecting header 2. Now, most people who don't really know too much about web designing would think that header 1, header 2 is just like a range of sizes. No, it's not. It's not a range of sizes. Font sizes is actually, it's a hierarchy, if you like. Header 1 or H1 being the let me just change this again. We've got header 2 there. That should be fine. And when I save that, that should end up coming up as a header 2. There we go. So up here, header 2, H2 tag. All right. Oh, so yeah, it's a hierarchy. Basically, H1 is your main keyword. That is the main keyword for that particular web page, not website, but for that web page. You may have a different one for your contact page, your About Us page, and things like that. So you can actually do that. It's not one H1 tag per website. It's one H1 tag per page of your website. Okay. So that will help optimize your site and get it more sort of like, I guess, you know, so Google can actually communicate with it and know what is your main keyword. Does it service their users' queries and things like that? Okay. All right. So that's just a little bit about that. That's not exactly what I wanted to talk about, but it just gives you an idea. So these are elements, right? These are just elements. That's an element. That's a title, if you like, element. This one here is a paragraph element. Then we've got icon elements here. Again, images, buttons are elements as well. So yeah, lots of different types of elements. Now, if we come over to the left-hand side here and we click on here, elements, then you will see all the other types of elements we have too as well. You have bullet point type elements, round image elements, carousel, icons, video players, so all those. So those are elements. Now, the thing is that when you're using an element over and over again, and you don't want to keep recreating it all the time, like say, for instance, the button here, okay, this button here, that would be something that I would actually probably dot all over the place in my website, as you can see. And rather than, even duplicating it again or whatever, what you can do if you wanted to, you can, like if you wanted to add another one of these buttons down below here somewhere, then what you can do, there's a couple of ways you can do it. One, you can just click on here and go duplicate, right? And then drag and drop that to wherever you want. And here, so let me just grab that and drag and drop it down here somewhere. Let's try here. Oh, no, I won't go there. Maybe there, we want to center it too, by the way. We don't want it to like that, so we just want to center. Vertical, cool. We don't really want that big. But you get the picture, right? Yeah. So there's the button there, and then I'm just going to give it some space. Right, so that's the button element, all right? And that's one way that you can actually duplicate that button is by just duplicating it from a previous button that you have in here and then dragging and drop it into place. Or what you can do, you click on that button there, right? And let me just see if I can click in. Let's click on one of these buttons here. Just really want the button. Okay, so it clicks on the button. You can see here, button main label. So I'm actually on the button. You've got button main label here as well. Okay, so when it says the main label, that's the main label, or that's the title of the button. Then you've got the button itself, and then you got the container that the button sits in. Right, but we just want to. That's the button that we actually want. Right. So what we want to do here is we want to save it as a favorite, and what we can do here is just click it here. And we can name a button, but can you see here it says that element or title or exists already? So we don't want to actually use the same thing, button or the name button. So we're going to call it its own individual button, and let's just call it the CTA. And I'm just going to go PPL. Actually, we'll go PPL, which is Pinpoint Local, which is the name of my business. PPL call to action or CTA button. Now, I don't want to put it in the section of the buttons. I want to put it under the actual website name. So I'm going to click over here, and I'm going to go down to, if I can find Pinpoint Local. I've got Pinpoint Local AI. That's not this website, but I want it to put it under Pinpoint Local. That's it, not AI, because I do actually have separate websites for that. Separate website for that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a new section, and I'm just going to call this section Pinpoint Local. And that's it, just Pinpoint Local. Okay, and that's going to be my new section. So that will actually separate it from Pinpoint Local AI. Whatever. Word of mouth is the best. Word of mouth is the best advertisement for gaining new customers. It is validation. Yeah. Okay. So what I actually really found with my business, because I'm a local, like I provide local businesses with websites. It's great because that whole referral network works. And I belong to a group, business networking group that are very, very proactive and active in finding. We're active in finding each other referrals, or just keeping our eyes and our ears open to any of our customers, friends, or even family who may have a need for someone else in our groups, for their service, that might be a need for their particular service. So I've helped lots of my friends and my family, and even colleagues, help them find the right tradesperson or professional service person for their needs. So you're right, Tyler. It's validation. People normally trust you when they know you. They normally trust your advice, or who you refer, because a lot of people, it's all about not knowing whether or not a service is good enough, or they're very reputable, and if they get a validation from a friend or family member or whoever, then they'll go and use that. They'll go and use that service because of that. All right, so getting back to this. So what I want to do here is I actually want to add this button as a favorite, and which I have done. So if I come down over here and I go to elements here, and I scroll down and I look for pinpoint local, there it is there, and that will show me that I've actually saved that button as a favorite, okay, which is cool. So now if I actually want to add that button anywhere else, so let's just say let's just say I want to put it underneath here, okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to either put it in here, and because this is actually a 3-column block, so you see here the layout is 3, so it's a 3-column layout. So I can either put it in here, underneath this, within this column, underneath here, or I can add it as another block. But I think I might just put it in. Well, actually, I might actually add it as another block, and I'll show you the reason why. So I'll do 2. I'll do one in here. I'll put one button in there, and I'll put another one as a block. So let's just do that, and then you will see what I mean in terms of why I would probably prefer one over the other. Okay, so I'm going to click on this container here and see the container. I'm going to click on it. I've clicked on the container. I'm going to go to elements, and I'll scroll down to pinpoint local here, and I'm just going to drag and drop that button under here. Okay, cool. Actually, we might just go underneath that blue line if we can. There you go. Now you can see, like, it's a little bit, it's not it's not wide enough. I can't put all the font in on one line, so I'm going to actually change the size of the font. So I'm just going to click on here, on there, and then I'm going to come over to text, and I'm going to make it 20. Well, whenever it starts to come to there, so we'll make it 22 if that's actually. Yep. So that's 22. Oh, so we've got the button there now. That as opposed to maybe doing it in its own separate block. So I'm going to do that now. Click onto the block area. You can see down here, I've highlighted the block area. I'm going to add another block. Just a single column block. It doesn't need to be a double. And now I am going to come over to elements here. And I'm going to go down to pinpoint local. And I'm going to drag and drop that element into here. All right, we need to actually center that. So we'll come over to layout. And we'll come over to center this way here. Okay. Now I've been able to keep the same size that I want, which makes it more preferable over this one here, because there's only a certain width in between that in that column there. So this is probably the one I would actually probably choose. But what I want to show you is that there may be a difference in responsiveness, right? So that looks okay, like either or looks okay on a on a PC view. However, when I go to a mobile view, and this is kind of what you will get here. Now, as you can see there, it's still in that column and it's still under that middle column. Whereas I probably would have wanted it here rather than there. Okay, so that's why I stuck it into a separate block and created it as a separate element from these here. So that one is okay in this view here. In this, oh, where are we? In this view here. But once you start getting into the more the mobile view and stuff like that, that's where it's going to end up, and it looks a little bit oddball being there. You actually do want it down below everything else. So having its own separate block is probably a lot more appropriate. Okay, that's kind of one way that you would be able to actually add an element, by the way. All right, let me just get up to here. I want to get rid of this one here. We'll take that out of. We're just going to delete the element. All right, now the other way you can use favorites as well, you can actually use a favorite, right? You can actually use a favorite as a what would you call a navigation bar or a footer. You can actually save them as favorites, right? So if I wanted to save the top one, the navigation or the navigation menu as a favorite, then I could do this. I could go here and then just you can see that element exists. So just rename it. You want to rename it. I'm going to rename it the PPL navbar. And then the new section, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to actually add it to the pinpoint local, the name of my website. I'm going to put it under that section. So I'm going to click on here, scroll down to there, and I'm going to add it to that. That way, then I know it's for pinpoint local because I've got so many websites in my gallery that I want to know which navigation menu bar belongs to which website. Because if you have a look here, if you come into elements here, all right, and you scroll down here, I've got quite a few different websites, and where would I find it? Right, that's the problem. Where would I find it? So having the name of the website and having the element under that website, which is related to that website, is the best way to do it. All right. So really, the wording. The wording may actually confuse some people because when you click on here, you go favorites, and then it says section. It should say something like, category or even website, or something like that. Probably more website or project. That way, then you know that you assign it to that particular project, whether it be the name of the website or the name of the web. Well, whether it be the name of the website or whether it be something completely different. But generally, it's the name of the website that you actually want to put your element under for that specific website. All right, so I think I've saved that. I'm not too sure. Let's just have a quick look. So if I come over to elements, I come down to here. Yep. So I've saved the menu bar here. It's up here. Now, I've saved it as an element, if you like. I can save it as a block, or I can save it as a global block. Now, there are two things about that. Okay, so, but if I come over to, where we go, box, let's just go to here, blocks, go save. I can save it as a block. So if I come to here, go onto block, and then go to favorites, then update existing block or create new block. I'm going to create new block. I'm going to go down to, now this time it says category, not section. I'm going to go down to the pinpoint local here, and I'm going to save it under there. So now I've got a block. Now, where that comes in handy, and I'll just show you, if I wanted to put the same block on a different page of my website, then all I have to do is create another page, and let's just do that now. Okay, here, we're going to add a page up the top here. And I'm just going to start from scratch. So I'm just going to do a blank template. Right, there you go. And I'm going to come onto here, and then I'm just going to add a block. I'm going to come over to my saved blocks, go down to pinpoint local. Yeah. And there you'll see I've got a couple other blocks there too as well. So that's the most recent one. Okay. So this going from left to right is from the most previous to the most recent. Did that sound right? Yeah. Okay. So anyway, on the right hand side is the most recent one, the most recent saved block. So I want to use that one. And voila, it just puts it in there. All right. So that's a block, a saved block. So everything like the links and everything like that are actually all embedded. I don't have to put any links and things like that. And now I've got a block that I can actually put on a different page if I want to. You know, not having to recreate the whole navigation menu again, just being able to just drag and drop or just add it like I've done there. The other thing is, would it work okay as an element? There's no real need to create it as an element. You'd be best creating it as a block and saving it. All right, that's the best way of doing it. Now, when you've got multiple pages, just a save block is probably not going to cut it. All right. You know, maybe 1 or 2 pages, well, 2 pages. Yep, you could, you know, just use this, what I've just shown you, save block, add it. But if you've got multiple pages, like, you know, you've got about us, you've got, you know, contact, you've got maybe different sections on your website that you want people to get access to. So you're going to have like different pages, all those sorts of things. Then you do want your navigation bar up the top on each page. So, you know, that will be something that you'd probably have to actually, if you don't want to duplicate all the time, right? You don't want to duplicate. So you want to save it as a favorite, but also with having so many pages, you make a change to one page with the menu on top. If you make a change to that one, that doesn't necessarily translate into changing all the others. Like, say for instance, if I added, let's just say, if I clicked on here and that link there, you know, I wanted to change the link to that, right? I wanted to go to I wanted to go to a different page. Then on the page that I created, that would probably work. But on all the other pages with the same name of the link on it, will not go to that page that you changed it to, because you've only done it to one page. All right, so you want it to go to the latest page, but you don't want to do that to every single page on your website and change the link. You just want to do it to one block, and it will change everything for you, all the different pages for you, all the different menus above each page for you. Yeah, okay. So, and that's where going from saved to actually a global block makes more sense. All right, so it actually makes a lot more sense than trying to actually change the link on each page. On each page, or each navigation menu on each page. So we're going to turn it into a global block. So how do we do that? All right. Well, we won't save this. I'm going to go back to here again, back to blocks. let's go to save. Let's go back down to pinpoint local. And here I'm just going to delete that. Okay, I'm going to delete that one. I'm going to delete this page, by the way. Actually, we might just delete the block. We won't delete the page. We'll just delete the block. By the way, if you can't find the block by clicking on it, and you have to click a few times to try and get the block, the easiest way is go down the bottom here to the breadcrumbs, and then just go to block, and that will select the whole block. So I'm going to delete the block, but I'm not going to delete the page. Okay, cool. All right. Let's just save that. No, wait for it to say saved. You'll see a little green box pop up down the bottom here to say that it's saved. Once it is saved, excuse me, let's drink of water. There you go. Content saved. All right. So let's go back to the main page, which is this one here. Now, I'm more or less going to repeat what I did before, but there's going to be a little, an added thing to it. So I'm going to select the block. So I'm going to come down here rather than muck around. I mean, I could actually, if I wanted to persevere, if I couldn't get quite the block on the first click, but I wanted to go up one level to actually get it, then you can do that here. Or the quickest way, really, if you click on here, just come straight down the bottom and go block. That way you've selected it all. So again, I am going to, you can see page 12 has actually ended up over here. So we'll probably give that a name actually. Let's just give that a name. Let's just come back over here into page. And let's just give this a name so that it's got a name. Edit settings, and we'll give it, we'll just call this one block. Yeah, we'll just call this contact us. And in the slug down here, this is just a lowercase contact us. It's got to be all one word, by the way. So you can't have any spaces in here. So it'll be contact dash, oops, dash us. All right, and then save. Okay, cancel. Let's just go save here. Right, even though we saved it over here, it didn't quite save. That's why it wanted us to save when we tried to exit. If you come across that, then come up here and then click on save as well. Sometimes this happens where it doesn't actually work straight away. Once you save it within here, you might still have to do it up here. So that's saved. I can definitely close this now without see. Then it says now discard unsaved settings. I have actually saved it. So let's just go confirm. All right. And let's just make sure we're going to refresh the page. It'll go back to the main page, by the way, when you refresh. All right. Just come back over here. And you can see it kept the save. It saved the actual changes. So we still do have contact us as the name of the page. All right. So now back to the main page here. We're going to click on the block of the menu. And now we're going to save it as a favorite. And we're going to do what we did before. We're going to go create new. We're going to go down to pinpoint local. Here. Okay, new block, create block. Awesome. Okay, so let's go to blocks over here. And if we go to saved and then we scroll down to pinpoint local, we should see that block that we've just created, which is this one here. So that's the one that we just created. So that now that's been saved as more or less as a favorite. Okay. Very cool. Now, However, like I said before, we want to turn that into a global block. Yeah, so favorite is for elements and global block, as well as you can actually, yeah, favorite for elements. But if you're doing like navigation menus and stuff like this, you want to probably not use it as an element, use it as a block, either a saved block or a global block. And that's what we're going to do here. So we've saved this as a favorite block or a saved block within Pinpoint Local, the category. So what I want to do now is I want to turn that saved block into a global block. Okay. All right. So let's come over here. And then we're going to go global blocks. We're going to add a global block. All right. There. Now we're just going to pick blank page. I know we've got a block with the navigation menu, but in order to actually grab that block to make it a global block, we need to create a blank page. Once we've done that, we need to rename it. Okay, so I'm going to rename it. I'm going to call it again. I'm going to call it PPL, and I'm just going to put contact. So that's the PPL nav bar. Bar, yeah. All right, so we're just going to click on that. Now we're going to actually choose that block that we saved. We're going to come over to saved, come down to Pinpoint Local, and we're going to grab that there. All right, cool. Now we have actually just created a global block. We're going to save and exit. So now we've turned our nav bar or a menu bar, whatever you want to call it, we've turned it into a global block, which means now we can actually put it on all our pages that we create. And then we make one change. We can to the global block. It will change all the other menu bars on every other page. So we might add another page just so that we can actually give you some idea. So I'm going to add another page here. Let's go here. I'm going to make this page blank. And I'm going to call this one here. I can rename it here if I want to. Edit settings. Edit settings. Edit settings. I'm going to call this About Us. And again, there should be no space in the slug, and it's all lowercase. All right, and let's just click save. And we'll just click it up there, save as well for good measure. Yeah, correct. So Nancy, yes. Same block says global block to keep every change will be affected. Yep, will affect every other block afterwards, and no need to upgrade the blocks on every page. Correct. Okay. All right. So now you see how this is. So this is a little bit of a now. If you weren't too sure about this, right, and I know this for a fact. Once you've actually saved something, and let's just say once I've done all this, so say for instance, let's just backtrack a wee bit, go to edit settings. Once I've done all this and I click on the tick, it should be saved. All right, it should be saved straight away. However, when I close this block so that I can actually click on here, this is what happens. It says that nothing's been saved. So I'm going to cancel that, and I'm just going to doubly make sure. I'll click on here just to make sure that it is saved. Now, again, I bet you if I click on this after it's saved, it'll say the same thing. So we'll just wait till it's saved. We'll wait for the green box to pop up down the bottom. There you go. Now I'm going to click on here, and again, it says discard unsaved settings. Now, don't be fooled by that, because this is a little bit of a bug. All right, just to let you know, this is not the way that it should be, and it's just a little bit of a bug that if you're really concerned about it, you can let support know. But I would say, there'd probably be a few thousand or a few hundred, a few thousand or a few 100,000 people around the world that might be doing the same thing anyway. Generally, when something like this happens, I know that they'll get notified. Support will probably get notified. And at some point it'll get done, and then the next day it probably doesn't, that issue doesn't even exist. So what I'm trying to say is maybe report things that are crucially important for you. To try not to waste too much time on support, especially when you know that, oh yeah, this is just a little bug, it's probably going to get fixed tomorrow. I'm just going to go click off that, and I'm just going to go again. I'm going to go confirm. Yes, I know that it's unsaved, but hey, look, it's still there. I've still got the changes there anyway. So it's just a little bit of a bug. All right, so don't worry too much about it. Big thing on the little keyboard. Yeah. Let me just get that one out of the way. Okay, cool. All right, so now we've created another page. I want to put that global block on that page. So I'm going to come over here, and I'm going to come up to global blocks there. And here it is here now. You might ask, well, you must have some global blocks from your other websites. How come you don't see all the other global blocks from the other website? That's because when you're working in the environment of the actual website that you're working on, like this one here, it will only show the global block for that website and nothing else. Okay, so I'm just going to click that. And now I've got that global block in there. Okay, I'm going to save. And what should happen when I save, once I save, it'll go back to the main page. And once it goes back to the main page, we should have the About Us on there as well. So let's just wait. Maybe I have to go back to the main page. Here we go. Yep. All right, let's just give it a bit of a refresh. There you go. So we've got the About Us. Now, if that's not the order you want it in, just come over to here. And then over here on the left-hand side, if you hover over that, then that will actually give you the, well, it's kind of like the moving cursor, if you like. So I'm just going to move this one up. I can either drag and drop it, or I'm sure I could go, oh yeah, no, that's fine. Yeah, I'll just drag and drop. So I can just drag and drop it to there, and that way then it will reflect on here as being changed to what have you, to being before the contact. So let me just go save, and we'll just go refresh. And then we'll just refresh it. All right, there you go. So the changes have been made. So now we've got in order, if you like, the main page. Oh, sorry, this is actually a different page altogether to the main page. We've got that page, we've got the About Us, we've got the Contact Us. Now let's just go to this page here, because this one does not actually have the global block. All right, so we're going to go here. We're going to come to this page here. Click on there so we can go there. Here we go. Now, as you can see, this is totally different. We've even got the phone number there, right? So what we're going to do is we're going to hide that one. I'm going to go down to layout, come down to here, and I'm going to go none. And all I'm going to do is I'm going to click on the block again there, and I'm going to add the global block. Let's just make sure this is hidden. None. Yeah. All right. Now we've got the global block. Let's just go save. We're still waiting for it to save. Cool. Now just refresh so that we can actually get that other page on there as well, that it shows up. All right. That should be, yep, that's fine. Okay, so now we've got the global block on these 4 pages on here, here, and here. All right. Now, that's all cool. We've got them all on there. So now the thing is having the global block on each page, which means that if I make a change to one, to one of the global blocks, doesn't matter which page it's on, could be on the main page, could be on this page. Let's just say we'll put it on this page here. And if I want to make a change, so what I'm going to do is once we get to this page here, you see I had a number here, right? So what I want to do here, I'm going to duplicate that or even copy it. Actually, I might just copy it. I'm going to copy that number. So what I'm going to do now is I'm actually going to just click. Now, where are we? All right. Now I'm going to make this a little bit bigger. Element. We really want to try and click on. This can be a little bit tricky. I'm trying to actually click it so that when we click on the block, we get the global block. Let me just save again. I may have to go to a different page. It's kind of not showing everything anyway. I'm not too sure why. All right, saved. I'm just going to refresh. So if you encounter these little issues as you go through it, just know that it's not your fault. Sometimes there's these little glitches that happen behind, in the back end that you're not aware of. And I guess I can say that because of the fact that I'm so used to working on the Groove platform that I know when it's actually having a little bit of a moment, or whether it's actually a something that I've done. So, but what we want to try and do is we want to try and get, and I think I know what the issue here is with this one. Let's go to, let's just refresh this again. We'll do it here. I think I know what the problem is with this one here, why I'm not getting the global block thing. I'm going to go to, click on block, positioning. Okay, now that should be fine. Position is fine. Okay, cool. So what should happen, and I'm sure you guys might know this, is that when you double click on here, you should get global block. It should say global block, but because it's the same nav bar, I want to really try and get on the global block here. Not sure why it's this difficult, but it's very, very, sometimes this happens where you can't exactly get the global block thing come up. Because if you have, something's not quite working properly here. I shouldn't be able to make any changes. Let's just try another. We'll just try this again. We'll get another global block. Let's try getting that. Then let's just try this again. Okay. Let's get rid of this one. Yeah. All right, guys. So what's happening here? What's happening here is that now you'll notice that I can't make any changes. Like I can't. There's no. Like when I click on there, I can't make any changes to this text. That means that this is actually the global block. But the thing is, what you want to try and do is make sure that when you click on it, or you double click on it, what comes up says global block, edit global block. Now, this is another little glitch that does actually happen within Groove. I have encountered this once before, and sometimes it's a little bit, it's where you're positioning your mouse, which shouldn't be like that, obviously, but it's where you position your mouse and where you click is actually, will bring up the thing that I'm trying to show you through. But when you click on, it's a little bit temperamental at the moment. But having said that, what happens is when it's a global block, there is no way that you can actually change any of the information in here, right? Like if I click on the logo, ordinarily you should be able to click on the cog wheel, which doesn't show anyway, because we're actually in a global block. We're not in our normal block, right? So that's when you know it's a global block, right? So the only way that you can make or edit anything in the global block is that you must be able to actually double click it. Normally you would just double click it on the page there, like on the menu itself, and then you should see global block. But like I said, there is some stuff that happens, little glitches that happens. Yeah, maybe even doing things something like let's go up here. I'm going to go up to reload the page. I'm going to go to actually hang on, I'm going to go inspect. All right, like that. Then I'm going to go up to the refresh icon. You probably can't see it. I'm going to go to the refresh icon, and then I'm going to go empty cache and hard reload. And I'm just going to reload the whole page. Maybe some updates, some bug fixes that need to be updated, that have been updated, and then I need to actually update my account, the platform in my account. So that's just doing that now. You can't see it. I can see it. And I'm just waiting for it to update. Hopefully, once we've done that, then there may be an update for bug fixes that haven't been implemented on my account yet because I haven't done the update or the reset. Okay. I'm just going to refresh again after this. Wait for it, wait for it. Okay, now, and oh, I think I just did I see something there? I don't know if I did. No. Yeah. So you should be able to click anywhere here double click, you should be able to, anywhere here, and then you'll see edit global block. And at this point, I can't, it's not showing me. And like I said, I have had this before, and it's very, very temperamental. And you just gotta get the positioning right. I don't know why it's like this, but anyway, I'll still keep playing around over here, see if it actually works. I'm just double clicking everywhere and anywhere where I might hoping for something, but it is a little bit of a glitch that needs to be sorted. And this is something that I would actually contact support about. Now, I know this is a problem because I've done a ton of these global blocks in the past, so I know how it should work, and it's not working exactly the way it should work. So when you do encounter something like that, just know that it may not be you, right? It's not you doing anything wrong. It may be a bug that needs fixing in the platform. Sometimes these happen because they're actually doing other things on the platform. And sometimes when they're doing other things on the platform or doing other updates or other fixes, it can actually have a side effect and cause other little glitches like this. Right? So that's what happens. And unless you tell them about it, they won't know. All right. It's a shame I couldn't get to that whole global block. Let me just try a different page and see what happens there. Because I can literally make the changes on any global block on any page, and it will affect every other page. But let me just see if it was kind of like, okay, there's nothing in there. I thought I had something in there. Yeah, okay. Oh, right, okay. Yeah, it's pretty much on every page. And as you can see, it's missing some of the information. There's no about us. So this is the glitch, unfortunately. Okay, well, let me go stop share. Maybe I will actually get to the bottom of it and let you guys know next week. But like I said, if you do actually start doing a global block and this happens, then it's not you. But if it is actually okay, then all you need to do is make sure you double click on the block itself. And in the end, you should see edit global block up here. Once you see that, you click on it and then you start editing. When you make changes, like maybe add another, like add the phone number I was going to add in there as a text element, and then save and then exit. And then once that's done, then that should affect every other page. Okay. All right. Let me just stop share. Okay, that was it for today. Pity we didn't get to that point that I wanted to get us to. It took us a little bit longer to on today's session, only because of it, to be quite honest. Tyler, what does Tyler say? Okay, let's just have a look at Nancy. So you can make different navs with a global block. Yes, you can, but yeah, you really need one nav for global block. But there are actually, having said that, Nancy, I've actually had a global block nav on certain pages, and then I've actually had similar looking nav bar, but it wasn't actually, I didn't make it a global block. I made it separate, and there was a reason why I did that. And I think it was because there was something extra I wanted to put it on there that was only specific to that page and not the others, right? So if I actually made a change to the global block for that, and put that thing that I wanted to put on it, and I made the change on the global block, then that would have affected all the other pages. But if I just wanted it specifically for that page and not the others, then I had to actually use a saved block and make the change only to that particular block. It still looked the same as all the others, except it had one more addition to it. So, and I didn't want that addition to be on the other pages. Oh, yeah. So if you know what I mean, right? That's the only time that I've used them both. Right? So there's no rule that you can't actually use just global block and that's it. You can use global block and you can use a saved block and have it on the same website, but for those sort of specific reasons. And what's the scenario? So let's say you've got the about us, the contact us, and then you have, like, say for instance, another page which is review the artist. Let's say it's an artist website. Review the artist as a page as well. You go on that page, but specifically on that page, the review the artist, there's actually another there's another link on there. You don't want to share on all the other pages. You just want it on that specific page, and that's where I would use just the normal favorite block or saved block as opposed to a global block in terms of a nav bar. Well, so yeah. Okay, cool. Right. Okay. Tyler, I will be utilizing the replay feature due to tomfoolery, downright foolishness and shenanigans that are currently afoot. Thank you so much for sharing, Peter. No problem. No, I tend to get all these things actually when I'm doing this live, right? I tend to get all these little issues. Not sure why. You know, I mean, I could do recorded stuff and it'll actually probably look like it'll work out perfectly. But I love doing this when there are issues, only because, you know, you're going to encounter them too as well. And, you know, most people would think, you know, what am I doing wrong? Why is it doing this? I must have done something that, you know, or I didn't do something, or I might have missed something out. And all this time, you know, it's not you, it's actually the platform. So yeah, it's a good that these things happen. That's probably the more positive way to look at it. Okay, I guess that's it. That's everything. All right, guys, look, listen, next week I'll probably actually have, throughout the week, I'll make sure that that's actually working better next time I see you guys, and then I'll quickly just cover what I was trying to cover. And but obviously we'll have another topic next week as well. But once again, thank you for joining me for today's session. And don't forget, the Power Hour Plus for Tyra is coming up for me tomorrow. I think it would be tonight for you guys. I'm not sure, but yeah, for me tomorrow, Friday at 1 p.m. So yeah, and I will probably be on that call. I may be a little bit late coming on too, by the way, Tyra, but I will be on that call tomorrow. And if you do need to connect with me, I'm sure Tyra would oblige and put us into a breakout room, or it may be something that I might be able to help everybody with. And so we might share it with everybody if there's something that you're having difficulty or challenges with. All right. Thanks once again, guys, and we'll see you next week if I don't see you at the Power Hour. Bye for now.
You gotta get into the groove.